Hi guys, okay, so this video is on two drugstore products that I purchased recently, and that is the Maybelline the Nudes, as well as the Brow Drama. There we go. Okay, so, actually people always complain that I just whip things up here and then take them off, so there's that. So I believe this palette is roughly around $10, $10, $12, something like that. And you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 shades. It's a mixture of mattes and shimmers, as you can see there. I've probably used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like at least half of them. And just because the other colors I don't think I would necessarily actually use, so best to just have this now as it's fresh. Do I like it? It's actually not bad at all. I think these two colors are worth the price of the palette on its own. There's, how am I going to explain this? I don't know if the sort of bar that we all have for eyeshadows is pigmentation. You know, everyone's like, oh, everything compares to the NARS pigmentation, or even the Inglot. You know, you just have to barely touch them and it's like, kapow, like serious ass color on your eyes. If that is your sort of comparison to the quality or whether or not you want to go out and buy something, this is probably not the palette for you unless you just that one color. And even then, it's not really, really crazy, but I would say it's probably the most pigmented out of this palette. But for those of you who, like for me, this palette really works because there are days when I don't want to have like kapow. I just want to have like a nice wash. I just don't want to look dead. I don't want to really have a lot of makeup on. I just want to have a little bit of color on there. And rather than being so careful because I barely touch my brush in something and it's like, oh my gosh, and then I have to like blend that out. This is really good for those days when you don't really want to have to work a lot and you just want these simple washes of color. If you're looking for something where it's really heavy and dramatic, this is not the palette for you. But for everyday use, I think it actually is for that price to get all of these colors. And like I said, I really like this one, this one, this one, and that one. I find a lot of the times you can really tell the quality of a brand with their mattes. Shimmers are actually quite forgiving. You don't have to have the best quality with shimmer because the shimmer, this sort of diffusion of light and reflective nature of it kind of masks the quality of the shadow. But with a matte color, you really need to have that so finely milled, really, really good texture so that it doesn't go super patchy. So certainly there are, you can tell the difference in quality when you spend, you know, $30 and up for an eyeshadow, and even those palettes that are $75 or whatever have you. You can tell by the mattes. They do blend easily. They're beautiful. They don't have the patchiness. This does have some patchiness, but again, because it's not super, super pigmented, you're not going to really see that demarcation mark every time you're putting down your brush. Or just make sure you use a super, super fluffy blending brush rather than a lay down brush, so then you can just do a nice wash of color. So would I say that these are like dupes for NARS, or this is, you know, worth, it's comparable to the high end? No, it's not. You can tell that it's sort of a drugstore product just in terms of the quality. And that's not to say that all drugstore products are bad, because there are some that really rival it. Like Sleek really comes to mind. Those shadows are so pigmented. They really blend beautifully. They're quote drugstore products that I've been sent from amazing, amazing supporters of the channel from around the world that are beautiful, that rival the NARS, the Laura Merciers, the Chanel's also. In fact, Chanel, I'm really not crazy about their shadows, and the Dior's I really don't like, save for a few palettes here and there. And I've gone on a rant about the Dior ones. So anyway, so I'm not disparaging drugstore products because there are great finds, which leads me to this little sucker. This is the Brow Drama. And I've got this in deep brown. It's number 260. These are really great bang for your buck. I think they're about they're under $10 anyways. And if you go into the Anastasia brows, the Stila ones, I mean, there's a whole bunch. And they're really in the 20, 25, 28, and then with tax, like into the 30s. This definitely is comparable. And I would repurchase this over and over. It has this little sort of ball doohickey. And really what they say you should be doing is sort of going this way and then brushing them back. I don't tend to really do, you know, I just kind of do my own thing. As you can see, it's very, you know, you didn't see this like, it's actually quite natural. It just gives a little bit of texture. So if you're drawing something on and you don't want to have it look really drawn on, you just sort of wipe it through and or comb it through, and it'll give you that little bit of texture of hair. When I don't have anything, like if I'm going to yoga and because I really don't have a brow, I will just whip that and just swipe that through maybe twice, and it just gives that hint of definition, and that's enough. And so I think really for less than 10 bucks, when the other things are like closer to 30, it totally is comparable. The formulation, as you can see, it's more on the ashy cool tone, which is what I want. I don't want like a reddy brown brow at all. So I think that both of these are actually really good value for money. And again, don't be expecting crazy pigmentation with that. You will be disappointed. But if you're sort of like an everyday natural makeup wearer, you don't, you know, you're certainly not wearing as much makeup as I am now in terms of with all the liner and sort of the shadow. I think that would be really good for you. And I think anybody who uses a brow product, that's not a pencil, that's more of just sort of a wash of color through, then I think high and low end, it doesn't matter. I think you'll all really, really dig this. So anyways, I hope you found that helpful, and I will talk to you soon.